and I was too.
Hong Konger Mei Ng is losing faith in her city's policies for tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. She says her family made huge sacrifices last month to comply with local quarantine policies. But she now feels those efforts were in vain.
The Omicron spread so quickly. I mean, how can they handle all this infected people? I mean, even just at a thousand positive cases, they cannot handle it. I don't know how they're going to handle 4,000, 10,000 a day.
The global financial hub follows mainland China in deploying a dynamic zero COVID strategy, but the highly transmissible Omicron variant has proven hard to control. Despite extensive contact tracing and draconian isolation policies, daily infections have risen 60-fold since February 1st.
I don't have trust with Carrie Lam's dynamic zero policy, dynamic zero COVID policy. It's not going to happen.
A person from the same church as Ng's domestic helper tested positive last month. It set in motion a long string of stresses and costs for her family, despite none of them ever testing positive. Ng said her nonagenarian parents had to isolate in a hospital room.
They only use diapers on them. They are bed bound. They're not allowed to stand up because they are afraid that, they are too fragile, they may fall. So that's why they were bed bound for 4 days, 5 days. And then my dad could barely walk afterwards. And then afterwards, because they don't change diapers regularly, I mean, they have a schedule. It's not as needed. So afterwards, my mom got lung infection, urinary infection. So we sent her back to a sanatorium for like 2 weeks to fix that problem. And she was running fever, like pretty much like almost took her life. And then after we got home, we got a bill from the hospital authority for the duration during quarantine. It's like, why we have to pay for quarantine?
Hong Kong's hospital authority did not respond to questions about Ng's account. The rules have since been adjusted, with contacts of COVID-19 patients isolating at home. But the local authority has proposed plans to test a majority of the population each day. Quarantine facilities have reached capacity and hospital beds are 90% full. Some patients have at times been left on beds outside due to the lack of space.
We will be undertaking more tough measures.
City leader Carrie Lam has said the city will not surrender to the virus, calling on residents to have faith in the government's efforts.
Mandatory universal testing.
Ng's experience, though, has made her fear the system trying to contain COVID-19 more than the illness itself.
I feel that I'm not being protected. So it's not like, it's like if I do get sick, the government, the hospital can help me out. I don't have that. I don't have that feeling at all.